Good afternoon everybody and a very warm welcome back. Starting the stream a little bit early just by a couple of minutes. Live chat is busy, so welcome to all of you tuning in, and I hope you're all well as well. What we've got in the chats, Duck Dastardly, David Bartley, Dursey2, welcome guys, David A. Hello folks, channel members, thank you for your ongoing support as always. If you're new to the channel, then do hit the big shiny red subscribe button down below, and don't forget to give the stream today a little like as well. We're going to go through a lot of the new bits to the simulator, a lot of the new freeware that we've had recently released, or updated at least, I suppose. But we're at LimeSims / Aerosoft's fantastic Berlin Brandenburg scenery. We've had it since release, but we've not actually really used it more than once or twice, I think. Duck Dastardly High. But I mean, look at this. I'll just pan around, drop back from the gate area slightly. It is absolutely stunning, and I'd forgotten how nice it actually was. Hello to everyone else in the live chat, welcome. Shaw, Max, Baccazato, Philip, Red Threads, Beeline. Glass textures are stunning as well, look at that. We'll pop out in a second out of the gate room. Just wanted to show you guys this. Texture work on the wood is really good as well. So Aerosoft have created this scenery in conjunction with LimeSim. Craig J, good afternoon, welcome. And of course we're at Bravo 07 Alpha on the heavy stands. And there we are. He doesn't look too impressed, but he doesn't realise he's got an A330neo next to him. And here we are. Doors 2 attached with the jetway at the moment. We've got a couple of folks off in the distance that are joining us along today. G'day Bernie, hello to you. And the livery, of course, painted thanks to Tapsi. It's painted quite a few of our liveries now for the Aerosoft Twin Otter. This as well, the Headwind freeware A330-900neo. And as well the A320neo as well. So yeah, really good. So thank you to Tapsi for all your ongoing efforts painting some of our wonderful fleets, including this heavy A330. What do you guys think? It looks like a fantastic livery, right? Osprey Airways. Our route today is going to go to Athens, so we're going to depart LimeSims Berlin. We're going to go over to wonderful FlyTampa's Athens scenery. Look at the LimeSims texturing here for the scenery as we pan about. Nighthawk, Vibehav, Justin, welcome folks. Good morning, Chris Peoples. Let's go and have a look, see who else is around. If you're new to the channel, do give us a little wave in the live chat, say hello. UC's down here somewhere. There's another Osprey. In fact, it's another Osprey A330neo, I believe. Oh, look at that. Wonderful. Yeah, I definitely had forgotten how good this scenery was. Look how stunning this is. Berlin Brandenburg for Microsoft Flight Simulator. The commentator, welcome. Howdy, howdy. And Chaz, good morning from Colorado. So improvements-wise to the A330, there haven't really been many, I don't think, for a couple of weeks. I think there was an update recently that made it a bit more compatible with a previous sim update, but otherwise it's still, what's it called? 0.6, I think, the stable for fly-by-wire, so pretty old. Nice to see that the jetway actually connects though, but we don't have any wing views because there isn't any sort of cabin. So even when I do my wing views, little thing that I like to do, custom views, it doesn't sadly work. Ground equipment like chocks, nice little feature of this add-on. They disappear when you turn the beacon on, which is quite cool. Vibehav, where can you get the A330? From flightsim.to. And if you want our liveries as well from the channel, Osprey Airways, Osprey Regional, that sort of thing, all you've got to do is go to BritishAvGeek.com/liveries on our official website, and you'll see all of them there, including this one, which is remarkably nice. let's pre-plan our pushback. So using toolbar pushback, done it recently. If you missed the video, then have a little look. My last video that I dropped about a couple of days ago, 3 days ago now, includes this. So pre-plan pushback. We can click into it and it's going to load the map of our scenery effectively, and there's our outline of our aircraft. So we can zoom out and we can click and drag. We want to push and start facing towards 25 left, which is this one. It's 25 right actually, isn't it? So we've got to face the other way. Good job I checked that. So we want to push and start. Let's try and get this right on the line here so it's nice and accurate. Gonna plonk one there so that we actually push back properly, and then we're going to spin the wheel on my mouse. There we go.
Brandenburg traffic count.
That should do us. So there's our little routing for pushback planning. And to accept that, I mean, we could push forwards if we wanted to, I think, but I can't remember how that works properly. In fact, it looks like you can't do that. But it is in early beta and it will change in the near future. But to accept that pushback routing that we've done, we are happy with that. We just hit enter and it disappears. And up the top now it's cancel planned pushback. So if we change the routing or the runway gets changed at your airport for any reason, then you can quite simply just cancel the planned pushback and plan a different little route. On Navigraph, then if we have a little look, we're at Bravo 07 Alpha. We're going to push start facing south onto Victor 2, and we're going to head down the apron towards entry south. Then we're going to head over towards Bravo. Or it might be Alpha actually. We'll taxi Alpha. So Victor 2 Alpha, and then we'll probably use Mike 9 for departure, so we make the most of the runway. Because it's been a little while since I've used this. It's a really long, 4,000 meter long runway length. And then we've got from 25 left, the LUROS 1 November departure. So we're going to overfly the Berlin Brandenburg VOR 114.1, and we're going to then intercept a course of 225 outbound from that VOR up to 7.9 DME or 10.5 from the Schönefeld VOR 1144, and then we're going to sweep round to the left and depart on the SID EDDB LUROS. Initial climb clearance of 5,000 feet, as you can see there. And on Volanta we've got the same sort of thing. We zoom out, you can kind of see here the magenta line, and if I take satellite mode off, it's a little bit clearer for you to see. Bit of a sharp turn at EDDB. So we're going to see what the Headwind A330 can do today. Heading down over Europe, so Czech Republic, Slovakia, Hungary, Serbia, Bosnia-Herzegovina, crossing, sort of tickling those borders slightly, and then heading down over into Greek airspace, into FlyTampa's Athens. So it's going to be a nice little route today. I'll put all the screenshots on Volanta as we go, and on satellite mode, that's what this routing looks like. On Orbex's Volanta. How are we all doing anyway? Good weekend, I hope. New cockpit for Grav Aviation, not quite really, no. Philip, hello to you. The commentator, yeah, so actually, as the commentator is saying there, it would be great if the FABAWA team could support the A330 project. Not sure if they've got the capacity to do so, though. Yeah, they're quite busy at the moment, I think, with the A380 and the A320neo, trying to get the models and everything set for that. Love this paint scheme, it's so nice. And there's a Eurovings. Bernie's thrown a few euros towards ambitious pilots. What a great job that they've done, absolutely. Hugh, how do you get Volanta to work with MSFS? So, just works out the box, I thought. There's a nice little screenshot. I'll try and get the Alpine in. Ever so slightly, just in the background there. There we go. In the flight deck, it's quite different, isn't it? It's kind of like going backwards in time. The early days of fly-by-wire from many months ago, but it has got a bit of a fly pad, and everything kind of works as expected. The one thing to be really careful of here is the fact that you can't really do direct twos still, I don't think, from memory. So that's one thing to watch out on. You might get sort of tripped up on it. And also, when you go off the APU, that happens. Not ideal. Dimitri, hello to you, fly-by-wire team member here. At the moment, as British Av Geek said, we're very busy with the A320X and the A380X, so I don't think that'll be happening anytime soon. Indeed, and it's kind of down to the Headwind developers. It does this a lot every now and again as well. So you've got to go out and back in. It's kind of down to the Headwind developer to try and keep up with compatibility. I know they are working. Allegedly we'll have a update soon. I've just noticed that though for the first time. Look at that. Aircraft characteristics, airport maintenance planning, aircraft description for the A330. That's a nice little Easter egg that we've just found. Did not know that was there. Okay, V1 at 142. So we're heavy, we're going to be fast. And this is the first time using this aircraft as well with our Turtle Beach Velocity 1 flight, yoke and throttle, so that's going to be quite interesting. We've got the BBI VOR tuned in, and I feel like I might have the wrong frequency, 114.4 SDD. Cool, okay, that's fine. We'll activate those, get them ready to go. And it's done it again, brilliant. Leonardo, I don't know why, but I couldn't get the Osprey model matching to work. All you need to do is download the liveries first, then also download the VMR for it on our website, britishavgeek.com/liveries. At the bottom of the screen there, you'll see the VMR for all our custom liveries. And then from there, you just add it to the bottom of the list on... Ah, dear me. There we go. That's going to get frustrating, isn't it? Perf page. Thanks, Doc. 11:49 and 11:49 and 11:49. There we go. Transition is actually 5,000, but this hasn't got all of the mod cons, if you like, that the fly-by-wire A320X has got. Good grief. Let's rock and roll, shall we? Brandenburg traffic, Osprey 165 heavy, A330-900 on standard Bravo 07 Alpha, QNH 1025, push start face south. So, with the fantastic pushback tool stuff, we can go request pushback and let it do its thing. Do you want to watch the pushback from the inside or the outside, folks? Your choice. We'll watch the automatic pre-planned pushback stuff.
Lufthansa 46 Berlin Brandenburg traffic. We are on stance 1-2, pushing back station south on Victor 25.
Bernie's saying, when eventually the fly-by-wire A380 is released, do you think that more than one jetway will work on each stand? That's a great question, but I don't think we'll ever know until release date. The difficulty there is going to be getting the sim to actually work with multiple jetways.
Okay, sir. The bypass.
FB was asking, do you know if fly-by-wire will make the A320 so you can add your own cabin sounds and announcements? I know that there's some more coming.
Parking brake set. Lifting the aircraft.
And Wojtek, hello to you, welcome. There's the lift.
We are cleared for start and push.
Okay, cleared for push start. Please release parking brake.
Oh god. We can't now because tower's just come online. 1188.
Please release
Please don't crash on me. Brandenburg Tower, good afternoon. Osprey 165 Heavy, A330neo on stand Bravo 07 Alpha with information Bravo. Request IFR to Athens, please.
Osprey 165 preliminary question. Berlin Tower, hello, information Bravo, correct, setup approved, cleared destination Athens. LUROS 1 November, flight en route, climb 5,000 feet and squawk 2035.
Cleared to Athens, LUROS 1 November departure and initial climb 5,000 feet, squawk 2035, Osprey 165 Heavy.
Osprey 165, read back correct.
And request pushback, please.
Osprey 165, push approved, face south.
Push approved, face south, Osprey 165 Heavy.
Alpine 51 Bravo, Alpha, wind variable, 3 knots, runway 25 left, clear for takeoff.
Released.
Now the last time we used this add-on with the A330neo,
We'll start in the sequence.
it tipped the aircraft back, if you remember. But we're rocking and rolling now. A330neo ops, Osprey Airways, let's go. I'm excited for this, this is going to be great. And we're not clicking anything, the aeroplane's just following the route thanks to the toolbar pushback freeware. Start engine 1.
We have the birth to November departure.
LUROS 1 November with initial climb.
Dust 2's just landed at Haverfordwest, nice, in the C337 for lunch. Riley, hello to you, welcome. Who flew the A330 on Sunday, issues with the frequency changing on me and some descent issues too. Barris is there, Delta Airlines A330. Oh, it's a Sobo blob. So I haven't still got model matching quite perfect yet. But here's our better pushback, our toolbar pushback thing that's working wonderfully now. And Danny, good question. For those of you wondering the same thing, thanks for asking. Danny N's asking, does the A330neo work with SimBrief? Yes, it does. Yoep, yes, so military use a lot of QFE. It's all height from ground, whereas more civil aviation uses QNH. It's a good point, actually. So this is following our little pre-planned pushback route that we did. We're not having to worry about anything, which is really nice. And Ronnie's asking, how's the A330? Is it worth getting? It's worth a go. This is the first time in a little while that we've used it, so I'm not sure entirely.
Lufthansa flight question Alpine 51 Bravo Alpha, contact departure 124.175.
We're right on the line. And perfectly placed for a rather stunning photo opportunity.
Alpine 51 Bravo Alpha, confirm 124.175.
124.175 for Alpine 51 Bravo Alpha.
Thank you.
There's a nice little screenshot for us.
Okay, pushback completed. Please set your parking brake.
We didn't have to do a thing.
Parking brake set.
Brilliant.
Parking brake set. Lowering aircraft.
We're going to have to do that a lot, I think. Engine 1.
Ground. You may disconnect.
And off he goes.
Okay, sir. Clear to disconnect. Pin has been removed. See you at the side. Have a good flight.
Holding position.
Dan, good afternoon. Welcome. Yoep. Can't wait to get back into it. Just need that 737 from PMDG. Like to think it's coming soon. Adrian's asking, how are the aircraft systems? This is a bit frustrating. And I think it's probably a Sim Update 8 thing that's done it. 124175 for departure.
Runway 25 left via Victor 2, Mike 7.
Victor 2, Mike 7 for point 2 departure.
17, wasn't it? 14175 for departure. Bremen radar. Jolly good. Okay, so they're both on. Fail, stable, whatever you like to call it. That's popped up again, so we have to do that again. That's going to get annoying, isn't it? I can just feel it. Let's go. Taxi lights. I could probably turn these on a bit as well. Bernie, so mine's just placed a little bit further down. And we can go flaps 1 plus F. There we go. So it has got announcements for that, animations for that too. Let's get our taxi clearance. So I'll just get my ground charts up so I don't get lost. That does happen. Osprey 165 heavy, request taxi.
Osprey 165, taxi link point runway 25 left via Victor 2, Bravo, Mike 8.
Taxi, hold point, runway 25 left via Victor 2, Bravo, and Mike 8, Osprey 165. First time using a single or dual axis throttle on this as well, actually, with the Velocity 1 system. There goes Aerosoft's wonderful balloon. That's good to know. We don't want it during takeoff. That's going to be bad. Could you imagine? And we're rolling. First time in, was it 2-3 months since we've had this in the sim.
Bravo, taxi now Bravo, Mike 8, holding point 25 left.
There's the Eurowings.
Rest of the 496 still cleared for takeoff and variable tree now.
We are still cleared for the takeoff by 660.
Oh, brilliant.
Engine for 2 Delta Tango, ready to copy.
Now that's nice and bright, look at that.
Agent 4 Delta, question 2 Delta Tango, information Bravo, startup approved, declared Athens. LUROS 1 November, flight plan route, climb 5,000 feet, squawk 203.
So on auto brake max, do that, we'll put ignition mode norm. And we'll go takeoff config test, make sure I'm perf. Interesting.
Agent 2 Delta Tango, read back correct.
Let's try it now in a second. Ah, poop. Let's not overshoot here. We'll help the controller out. We won't muck around too much with this. I don't want to get lost. Even though that's just happened. Good old reverse thrust. And we're a professional streaming service here. Good grief. There we go, look at that. I bet he didn't even notice. Max, are there any frame rate drops? Good question. I haven't noticed any, to be honest. I know Berlin's Brandenburg is quite good anyway from the last time we used it. I remember it being quite nice to use. It certainly seems to continue being that way. Got some custom views, but no wing views. Sad times. And that problematic issue with the views. I could have turned left on Alpha, onto Alpha, but I like to not cause too much of a headache for controllers. Okay, what have we got here? Keeps popping up.
Agent 4 Delta Tango, pushback approved, face east.
There's David, I think, in the other A330neo, looking fantastic. Brilliant. Do that again. It'd be good to see this updated to work with version 0.7 on the stable, but I know Flamboyant are very close to releasing stable 0.8, so yeah, it's quite behind, isn't it, really? He's given us Mike 8, but that's fine, that's still the end of the runway regardless. Oh, we've got Latin VFR's ground vehicle pack as well. Got DHL trucks. There's got to be a better way to clear that. Again, really?
165, line up, runway 25 left and wait.
Line up and wait, runway 25 left, Osprey 165 heavy.
Right, 496, squawk 1 Charlie.
Charlie 46.
To the 496, thanks. Wind, correction, contact Berlin departure on 124.175, bye-bye.
24175, thanks.
Those of you with CPDLC, if you're flying around this part of the world at the moment, it has got en route controllers that support it, which is great. This first little bit will probably have to be hand flown by me. And we're a big, long, wide aeroplane, so I'm trying to get the nose wheel with the main carriage exactly on the centre line if I can. With like some pro tiller control. Oh, I was close. That'll do. Chris, major multitasking going on for you. So strobes are on. We'll turn that on and that as well. I will forget otherwise. And everything is set.
165, wind variable 3 knots, runway 25 left, late for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 25 left, Osprey 165, thanks. Okay, let's rock and roll. Let's go to Athens. 2 clicks. There we go, flex. I find the German controllers tend to be some of the best on VATSIM, has to be said. Away we go. Almost at V1. V1, rotate. And happy days. Chase that flight director initially. And it's positive rate, gear up. Turn to the VOR mode, and you can see that arrow coming into view here. That will give us an outbound course in a minute. Just leave it climb, and we'll get the nose down.
Spray 165, call Berlin departure on 124.175, bye-bye.
Call Berlin departure 124.175, thanks for the ATC, choose.
Ciao.
Okay, we're up. Bremen radar, good afternoon, Osprey 165 heavy, LUROS 1 November departure, 3,300 feet.
Osprey 165, radar header identified, climb flight level 100.
Climb flight level 100, Osprey 165 heavy. Let's see what it does here. So I've set 240. And it seems to be holding that quite nicely actually. We're in the climb gate, well, just about. Just tickle those throttles back properly, make sure they are seated correctly.
165, proceed direct Hotel Delta Oscar.
Whoa, that's the problem. Proceed direct to Hotel Delta Oscar, Osprey 165. Okay, so now potentially this is where everything breaks. We will see what happens. Hermsdorf VOR. Actually, it seems to be loading everything in nice.
165, climb level 240.
Flight level 240, Osprey 165. You know what? It's doing it. And it seems to have brought our routing back in again. So something's been updated recently that's made this a little bit more reliable. Let's get rid of those, we don't need them. Happy days. And we're accelerating away over flight level 100. Let's turn those off and that. And we'll get the nippers out. And we're airborne in our Osprey Airways A330neo. No, well, touch wood. I've jinxed it now, haven't I? Touch wood, no problems. Brilliant. Gonna be chaos now in a few minutes, isn't it? Looking good though, right? Strobes could be done, you know, that could be a little bit, they could be a bit brighter, couldn't they? Bernie, we do indeed. We need to create a couple of Osprey Airways related cabin announcements, don't we? Not sure which ones to focus on though, really. Which ones to go for. If we can script some kind of safety demonstration together, perhaps we could do that. We could get one of those in at least for now. Commentators saying it looks great, and actually it's doing alright so far. Tapsy, hello. Our fleet painter for the A330neo. Thank you for painting this wonderful bit of work. Have I seen the wing flex that Headwind has been working on? No, sadly not. I think that's who we'll be speaking to shortly. Roger radar 124050.
Lufthansa 496, Bremen radar.
Jay's trying it himself, flying well so far. Relaxing Flights is asking, is there any news on when the InnyBuild's A310 will be released? Good question. No, but I'm hoping when I find out I'll be able to show you guys some of it when it does.
165, contact München radar 124.050, bye-bye.
Contact München radar 124.040 for Osprey 165. Choose, thanks for the ATC.
165, just to be sure it's 124.050.
A firm, yeah, 124.050, Osprey 165. I was even looking at it on my screen. Red, good morning, just passed his S3 exam, congratulations to you. München radar, good afternoon, Osprey 165, climbing flight level 240 and direct Omsdorf VOA.
Osprey 165, München, Servus identified, climb flight level 330.
Climb flight level 330, Osprey 165. So that's our little direct 2, HDO. 60 miles from now, and then we continue along our route basically. Now I've got a feeling I remember this bugging out on approach, but for those of you who do use it regularly, do you remember if you get problems with it, or do you find now that actually in the main it's been kind of fixed?
315, descent 5,000 feet, QNH 1021.
Nighthawk, that was you, parked up, fantastic. Goob, yes, the Leonardo's MD-80, that looks really good as well actually. Very excited for that. Keep smashing the like button while you're here guys as well if you are enjoying the stream today. One thing I would really like to see from Headwind in the near future would be Not only the wing flex that they're talking about, but actually some custom wing view type things.
434 Unicorn to Aegis.
It'd be quite important to see that. We've got contrails though.
After Armut, proceed to Ostes, descend flight level 270.
Thank you, Tapsy, for painting our liveries for the A330 and our Twin Otter liveries as well, of course. Tapsy, really appreciate all your help painting some of these fantastic liveries. You've done a great job, as I'm sure everyone will agree to.
Negative for Austrian 15 after Armut, proceed Ostes. Descend now, flight level 270.
Some snow in the distance as we are flying along Munchen Radar's territory.
Great.
Relaxing Flights loves the MD-80. You know what, it's quite a complex aeroplane, isn't it? It'll be good fun to fly. 330 is coming up soon.
Austrian correction Osprey 165, report your requested level.
I've requested flight level 390, Osprey 165.
Osprey 165, flight level 390.
Climb flight level 390, Osprey 165.
Jet 1715.
Dirty 2, can't wait for the BAE 146 from Just Flight. It was a childhood favourite going up in response to a previous stream's question. We need both a Legacy Osprey livery and a modern livery too. Sounds exciting. Eunice, hello to you, welcome. It's cold outside, blessings. Enjoy the rest of the flight. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, the Just Flight 146 Professional for MSFS looks very good, doesn't it? It looks really nice. For those of you who didn't see it, the Flying Fabio over on Twitch did a bit of a preview with a very early beta yesterday, so do check that out if you didn't catch it live yesterday. I tuned in for about 10 minutes while at work and it looked fantastic. It looked really cool. So it's nice to see that progress really well over the last sort of couple of weeks, months. Hopefully I'll be able to show you guys some preview type things with it nearer the time, nearer release once it's finished, but it is a complex aeroplane, so I wouldn't want to muck it up. I'd have to spend a bit of time learning it, I think, first, reading through the manuals, doing a bit of test flying and that sort of thing.
Direct to Monarch,
It's going to be a good 2 months though, isn't it? So we've got the BAE 146 from Just Fly, we've got DC Designs Concorde coming soon, PMDG 737, the MD-80 from Leonardo as well. So that's, I mean, that's 4 aeroplanes already that we've just rattled off the top of our heads that are coming in the next 6 weeks ideally. Wow, fantastic. Thank you very much, buddy. Well, yeah, really generous super chat, thank you. What, £5 for each contrail? Actually, let's do this one. There you go. Split it in half with the tail in the middle.
£5 for each contrail.
Thank you very much. Or chemtrail, as Greta would have you believe.
Austrian 15, descent flight level 160, proceed now direct Ostes.
Does anybody in the live chat, bit of a random question, does anybody in the live chat use virtual reality headsets but also require prescription glasses? Stefan, yeah, sadly the A330 is PC only at the moment. Jaff-F1N, hello to you, welcome on board, thanks for tuning in today, joining us for this little flight across Europe. There's a little, oh, hello. We found a hole in the plane. Let's go back in, pretend that didn't happen. See, that's why we need the wing views. Are there any cockpit changes in the A330 compared to the A32NX cockpit? Yes, so you've got one landing light switch here that will control both, which is in the A330 as well, so that's a nice little addition to make it a bit more accurate. Most of it is the same, it has to be said. You've got the window handle here, and then you've got the you've got the stack on the left-hand side. They're not tweakable, but you can use the A32NX or the A320 dials to actually change them. They rotate with it, which is quite nice.
Number QNH 1022, you're cleared to Iraq via Routes for Mike, flight plan route, climb by flight level 70.
Relaxing flights, yeah, you know what, we've not flown the salty simulation 747 for a little while either. Great bit of freeware for MSFS. And we've got a wonderful Osprey Airways livery for that too.
The 20 Foxtrot, Victor, correct. 1315 and 09 0 degrees, 1
Stefan, explosive decompression.
Osprey 165, Unicom 128, bye bye.
Unicom 1228 for Osprey 165, tschüss. Peter Noyd, welcome on board, thank you for subscribing. 1228, so we're on a bit of a Unicom now for the remainder, which is all good. We're at HDO now, and we're at cruise flight level 390. FlyTampa's Athens as well. We've not been to that for a little while, but it is a stunning bit of scenery as well, just like the Lime Sims Berlin that we departed from. It'd be a loud splat of snow, Doyle, wouldn't it? When I go smashing down to the floor. Very true, relaxing flights, yes. Perhaps we should reload into the 747 quickly. Adria radars waiting. They are indeed, yes. 13045. And we've got Athens radar on as well. That's my worry, actually. Athens radar is a little bit of a concern. I'm not sure what this is like on approach. So I'm hoping we can get our approach data and everything in early so we can deal with any problems. Adria radar is a little bit too far away at the moment. Emirates Athens has now changed to runway 03 left. Oh, the weird. It's a shame that that's there at the nose, the way the model's done. That's quite raw, isn't it? Because it ruins that GoPro camera style view that I was just about to try and achieve. By the way, A32NX from Fly-by-Wire, very soon we'll have a first officer tablet. A little early hint for those of you watching. So the ATIS at the moment on VATSIM for Athens is Information Juliet, approach type ILS Zulu, landing runway 03 right, transition level flight level 100, surface wind 300 degrees at 13 knots, visibility 10 kilometers or more, scattered cloud 4,000 feet, temperature plus 12 degrees Celsius, dew point plus 5 degrees Celsius, and a QNH 1010. And then warning of concentration of birds in the vicinity of the airport. So it's approach, arriving 03 right, ILS Zulu. I mean, we can kind of catch that on the way. Little airport down there. Yeah, 03 right for arrival. So on Volanta, no, on to Navigraph, sorry. We're expecting ROPOX, Ropo 1 Charlie arrival. And what we can do is we can just scribble down. We've got a couple of hours, so it'll probably change again, but we can just change these across as we wish. But open charts list. ROPOX 1 Charlie and 1 Papa. There we go. So it'll still be ROPOX 1 Charlie actually by the looks of it. ROPOX 1 Charlie down to 4,000 feet by Aegina. NDB of 382. We've got the Athens VOR to tune there. What else have we got? Athens SPA as well. So 2 VORs. We'll pin that and approach ILS Zulu 03 right. And we can pin that. So we'll be going in via the Aegina NDB. Initial approach fix there. And then intercepting that ILS approach for about 3,000 feet into Athens. Nice long runways again at Athens. 03 right is this one here, so we'll be touching down. And we could probably vacate around these high-speed exits, Delta 8, Delta 9, ideally. And then a very short taxi towards the gates, actually. Very short taxi to the gates, wonderful. So we'll pin that. And we'll pin the parking stands as well, so that we've got all of our parking charts ready to go as well. And if we want a reference for 03 right, we can click there on Navigraph and it will show us a little picture of what it's going to look like on approach. So all the airport is going to be on the left hand side. Do like a bit of Navigraph action. We know what to expect when we get closer, and that's the main thing. Ideally, nothing will surprise us, and then the rest of it will just be nice and smooth in this. I think I remember being caught out a couple of times with this in the past, where it will just wipe the flight plan because it does use a much earlier stable version of the Flabawat A320neo things. Aegina. Yes, Dwal, thank you. Aegina. You know my pronunciation is pretty woeful at times. Jay's thinking of taking this bird across the pond this weekend. Wow. Osprey Airways transatlantic, or are you picking a real world airline to use? We've got the landing rate monitor fired up today as well. It's tracking our flight, part of Osprey Airways, so our touchdown rating should appear on the screen when we get a bit closer to Athens. And if you've not heard of that before, then let us know and I can put a link in the description for that video. I was asking earlier about whether or not people had virtual reality headsets but also required a prescription for glasses. But I forgot to actually look at the live chat to see if anybody said yes. I don't think they did. So if that's you, let me know, because I've got a company's contacted me basically offering a 5% discount on custom-made prescription lenses for lots of different virtual reality headsets. So if that's something that would be of interest to you, let me know and I'll put the link in the live chat. There's a video going to go live over the next couple of days, sort of introducing it to everybody, in the hope that it might help somebody, it might be of interest to somebody. Mikhail's once again sitting at work when I'd rather fly along. Good afternoon to you and welcome. Thanks for joining us again, Mikhail. It's a shame we haven't got those custom wing views, but we do get to look down about Aegina. I love it when you guys give me lessons on pronunciation of far-flung places. Paris, Lufthansa 280 behind. I'm cruising at flight level 390 today. Oh, Jay, fantastic. Little Osprey Airways A330 transatlantic Heathrow to Toronto. Nice. Did you go for the FlyTampa Toronto scenery, or did you go for the Reg Designs Toronto scenery? There we are. Position nicely at cruise now. Nose position looks quite good as well, actually. Only a couple of degrees up. 1 or 2 degrees nose high. Livery looks fantastic on this big jet. Dirty 2's lining up a Haverfordwest for a little bit of VFR. To Cardigan Bay, nice. Scanning around to try and see Faris. Can't see you yet. When we get a bit closer to Athens as well, folks, don't let me forget, remind me to turn the flight recorder mod on. And we'll record our landing, so when we do get there, we'll do a little replay off the VATSIM network. We'll disconnect and do a little replay of the landing once we've watched a couple of people touch down as well. It'll be quite fun. Martin, good afternoon to you. I'll be flying the A320 stable from Ljubljana to Gatwick later on today. Fantastic. If you've not already tried it, I could really recommend giving the development branch, or in fact the A320 a go, the experimental. Skog, welcome. Thanks for subscribing to the channel. Welcome on board. And Justin just flew the A330 in a VATSIM event from Dusseldorf to Addis Ababa about a week ago. Wow. Oh, I think it's pretty good, but didn't manage to get the reverse thrust to work. But was also not really needed. Well, thanks for reminding me. Don't let me forget that. Yeah, that could get interesting very quickly on touchdown otherwise. Cythera, hello to you. Very well, thank you. I'm really good, thanks for asking. I hope you're well. And wow, member for 12 months. Thanks for all of your ongoing support, Cythera. Really appreciate it. Leonardo is asking, do you also fly VFR or only IFR? So I like to do a little bit of VFR every now and again. It's not a thing that I do very regularly though. Martin, thanks for your tip, but would I have to recalibrate Cytec throttle? So if you've already done the calibration inside the EFB, then all the settings should stay the same. It should remember it within a like a little throttle calibration file. So you should be able to just update it via the Flyby-Wire installer and give it a go. But you could always try it by copy and pasting the A320 stable folder to somewhere else, so you've got it safe should you have to revert back. and then give the experimental branch a go. You've got loads of incredible features in the development and experimental branches now, so it is worth a try. There's a vast difference. Love this livery. Got the registration painted on the wings as well underneath. I like to do a bit of VFR if I'm in the right aircraft, Leonardo. So if I'm in the Twin Otter, for example, I love a bit of VFR in that, and indeed we've done a bit of it recently as well. But it's not strict VFR. It's more just flying about on a different network, doing what we want. VFR and VATSIM. VFR is a little bit more complex to learn in comparison to IFR. So if we go on to, let's see, Dan, member for 10 months, wow, thank you. Asking, does the A330-900 allow you to configure throttle idents? I don't think it does yet, no. I'm having a little look around to see if I can find some charts that could perhaps help explain something. I don't know if Valanta does it actually. Could use the US sectional charts, couldn't we actually? So let's go across the channel, or across the pond. Okay, so if you were going to do VFR, let me show you this. Instead of IFR, where you're looking at airways and standard instrument departures and standard arrival routings, instead you would have to look at things like this for your planning, your routes. These are US sectional charts. So there's Boston Logan, and if for example you were going to fly out of, let's pick somewhere, Norwood Memorial Airport there. You can see the airspace, that little circle here. You've got to know the difference between all the different airspaces and Class D airspace and all that sort of thing. This doesn't really give you fantastic data, but it shows you here this little band of Class D, which is very close to the airport. Norwood Memorial is Class D between 4,000 and 7,000 feet. What else have we got here? This bit here, which actually falls around Norwood Memorial, and above it is between 3,000 and 7,000 feet. So we'd have to fly for about 2,500 feet through this channel to get away from the airspace. And then once you're in Class G airspace, you can kind of go anywhere you like, but you've got to look through all these charts. It gets very complex when you're trying to plan your route. Especially if we look around JFK. Where's JFK? There's Martha's Vineyard. Nice. Yeah, so here's New York's airspace. And that's why I don't tend to do much VFR on VATS especially. If I do VFR, then what I'll do is I'll just do a nice little route on somewhere and just go and fly about on Join FS instead. Hopefully that helps answer the question. Jay's loving the livery, suits the A330 nicely. It certainly does, yes. And Cythera wants to learn to make liveries too. You know what, I've given it a go myself. It is quite difficult. Some people are exceptionally good at it. As Dursey2 is saying though, with charts, once you learn the basics of it and you understand what each of the sections mean, actually it's not too hard to master. Leonardo, no, that is the US sectional maps inside Valanta. But if you want the rest of the world, then you'd have to look at things like Sky Vector. Yeah. Jolo, welcome on board. Thanks for subscribing as well. Welcome on Air Baltic Radar 24. Hello to you as well. And Dirty2 saying not all controllers on VATSIM get the VFR telephony right either. I had one a few days ago that was treating me like an IFR pilot. Yeah, it is different, isn't it? It is a very different world. IFR, especially if you're starting on VATSIM for the first time, IFR is absolutely the way forward. It's just a lot simpler. There's a lot less to think about or worry about. That's, like, I think, the world's longest road in a straight line. Where are we flying over at the moment? Let's find out. LK, so we are over the Czech Republic at the moment. I think we've just, at some point a few minutes ago, must have buzzed past Prague. Yeah. No, actually, so Slovakia is what we're entering next, this next bit of airspace. Leonardo's Aegean 2 Delta Tango behind us as well. Thanks for flying along. I love it when you guys fly with us. Hopefully you enjoy the immersion of having traffic as well. Just at the border of Wien radar. Oh, they're online now, aren't they? Wow, they are. 1326. Better tune it. As we turn. So, Austrian airspace in a minute. In fact, we're not. We're skirting around Austrian airspace here. Let's have a look at Volante. I'll show you guys what I mean. There you go. There's Wien radar, Austrian airspace. Innsbruck's got coverage now as well as Vienna and Salzburg. Beautiful part of Microsoft Flight Simulator. Go and explore. And then you've got Munich radar still online, Adria radar. In fact, we're skirting just shy of them too. According to that. Literally tickling their border at a couple of points. All the way down to Athens, who are now offline, so it looks like Unicom for the remainder. George, wow. When did that change? And also why? I've always known it as the Czech Republic. Czechia now. Justin saying, your IFR VATSIM tutorials really helped me. I've actually have the IFR clearance page laminated and I use it every time I fly. That's great to hear. Glad it's been useful. I wanted to keep it as basic as possible just to help people get the confidence to get involved, basically. And Luke saying, actually I agree with this. It's funny though, in real life IFR is much more difficult than VFR. But for someone on VATSIM, you can see how it's easier. And yeah, I mean, you got things like SimBrief and everything that plan the routes for you, and or people like Doctor on Board that give us our routings prior to the streams too. I think VFR is easier in real life because you can sit down with a map and you can plot your routes and you can see the airspace quite easily on a map itself. And as long as you've got the tools around you for the maps, you can kind of work out a nice little routing for VFR flights in real life. If you're learning to fly in real life and you're going into navigation, what you could do is you could plan the routes, and you could do it on the physical charts with your pens and your chart maps and all that sort of thing. And you could then fly it in the sim using something like the Just Flight PA-28. Bearing in mind we've got maybe 4 different aircraft, maybe more than that, coming in the next 6 weeks. For those of you watching, which one, if you had to pick one, which one is the most? Which is the one that you're most looking forward to? That's the question. AAA, can I do a barrel roll? Sadly, no. If I do, then the stream will end very quickly, I think. We'd like to get to Athens. George, interesting. Good to know. Dursey 2, there are quite a lot of tools to help with VFR. Little nav map is excellent for plotting routes and seeing airspace. Yeah, you make a good point there, actually. It's a very good way of helping to plan. A couple of people going straight for the PMDG 737 there. AAA, can you at least honk the horn of the aeroplane? Wish they had horns. Some of them do, don't they? But not these ones. Nerds saying, as excited as I am for the Mad Dog, I'm going to pick up the PMDG 737. Adrian saying, which aircraft are coming in the next 6 weeks? So we're looking at the DC Designs Concorde, the PMDG 737 for MSFS, Just Flight's BAE 146, which looks really nice as well, and the Leonardo MD-80. And potentially, who knows, potentially, fingers crossed, the Phoenix A320 as well, actually. So there's 5 that we can think of. Faris, hello. What website did you use for checking the online ATC? So I use Volanta, volanta.app. It's created by Orbex. And what you can do, you can turn this little bit in map settings on here, VATSIM ATC coverage, and it will show you then, it will highlight the areas that have got controllers active. And if you've got things like Tower, like Venice, you get a little T. And what's really good is you can tick it, and at Venice you can click online ATC and you can see there's Tower but also an ATIS, and when you click ATIS you actually get the ATIS information displayed on the screen for you. So whilst you're en route flying along, you can get a bit of a clue as to what approach you might be issued when you get a bit closer. And Volanta's free. They offer a premium version, and also on Volanta we are one of the first virtual operators to be added to Volanta. So for those of you who like to fly on VATSIM as Osprey Airways, now you can do that, and you can label your aircraft as Osprey Airways aircraft, which is really cool. Let's find today's one, GONEO. Select airline, BVX, which is our 3-letter code, and then there we go, done. Very cool, love it. Treedveron saying, I will probably fly the Synaptic A220 more when it releases. How far away is that though? I think it's going to be a little bit of a while for that, surely. Dursey 2, it's going to be a busy and rather dizzying couple of months, I think. Imagine if you were just sitting there in the cabin and you did hear the horn of an aeroplane go off. You'd be so confused. There must be a button up here somewhere for horn. Or it'll be inside a setting somewhere for engineers to dig out from a panel. That's Bratislav. No, it's not. It's Budapest. We're coming towards. In fact, Budapest is going to be through the cloud over there slightly. We sort of cross across over. Over Slovakia into Hungary now. So if you kind of draw a line just beyond that river there is sort of the border between those two countries. David, no problem, have a good one. In some ways, thank you very much, welcome. Glad you're loving the content so far. Cythera, it's sod's law, isn't it? It's they all come at once, and then we're all scrambling trying to A, pay for them all because we want them all, and B, learn them all at the same time as well. It's quite incredible. It's an exciting few months for MSFS, certainly, and definitely I think it's the time now where the sim's starting to mature quite significantly to become a bit of a market leader. Fuel farm down there. Might try and spot a bit of Budapest. Just going to do a horizon check for the drone camera because it does like to rotate itself regularly. Absolutely, Cythera. It's getting much better all the time, isn't it? It's great to see it improve and grow. I mean, crikey, do you remember back in the day when it first got released, when Microsoft Flight Simulator first dropped and we had that default A320 that took off like a rocket, didn't it? So within about a couple of seconds of applying takeoff thrust, you were up, you were airborne. Darcy 2, yes, well, I could always do more Red Cross connections. We donated, I rounded it up in the end, we got £61 in the pot and I rounded it up to £75. We sent that off to the Red Cross appeal for the Ukrainian humanitarian relief appeal. So thank you to everybody who donated to that worthy cause, supporting the Ukrainian Red Cross appeal. All the money's gone to a really good cause, so thank you. But of course, if you want to donate, then you can do so directly as well through the Red Cross. No shade to the guys at Asobo, but some of the plane mod creators are actual literal geniuses to have done what they've done throughout the Sims newborn stage, yes. And was it, so it got released 18th of August, didn't it? 2019, I think, if I'm right. Or 2020, I forget. The last couple of years have been a blur, haven't they? I think within about a month, fly-by-wire became a thing, and that's just it's developed at such pace. It's kind of carried the simulator with it. But as you know, Asobo have got some incredible people working with them now as well. The chaps over in Working Title who created that amazing CJ4 mod. They're now contractors for Microsoft, so they are working every day to develop the sim and make it exceptional. And that shows that Microsoft are taking it seriously. And as Cythera said there, they also learned quite a bit from Sim Update 5, a notorious sim update that will probably go down in years to come. We'll be chinging beer glasses to it, remembering those awful days. That was a difficult few weeks, wasn't it? Sim Update 5, wow. And we're now Sim Update 8, and look how nice this one must have been. Doc was asking earlier on this special International Women's Day, can we hear your missus' voice on the live stream? Unfortunately, she's at work, so she started a new job now, which is rather exciting. Doing some veterinary stuff. Dusty, yeah, I think that's correct as well. Actually, from what I understand, they will end up being. Changing the working title CJ4 will end up becoming that will become the main default CJ4 in the sim, but it's not really an aircraft I'm that interested in, to be honest. I like the big airliners and all that sort of stuff. Blisk, am I planning on doing cross the pond westbound? I would love to. Sadly, I think I'm out of the country. Over across the pond westbound. I'm either at work or I'm out the country for it, so sadly I can't partake in this one. But when Concorde gets released, we will go blasting across the Atlantic. We'll do a JFK to Heathrow or Heathrow to JFK, and we'll give it a go. We'll try and get it the other side and go supersonic along the way. Josh aboard, thank you, I'll pass it on. Got to plan a live stream in the near future as well. The next set of live streams working towards the weekend. So I'm going on to night shifts again. But Sunday should be a good day for one, and I'll try and do one Friday before work as well if I get a chance. As well. I just need to plan the routes. One of those is going to be Ajaccio, I think. Aaron, do you recalculate your own fuel or just let SimBrief do it? So I just use SimBrief, to be totally honest. I'll let it do its thing. But providing you've got the correct profiles for the aircraft, you'll have an accurate calculation, or one that will at least get you to your destination. George, what we need now is a good cockpit sharing tool and we're good to go. Yes, that would be quite cool, wouldn't it? We, when was it? We used your controls ages ago, didn't we? Dr. Aboard, I won't be able to do the Saturday events, sadly, because I'm in between night shifts, so I'll be fast asleep at that point while that's all going on. And the First Wings event as well, the next VATSIM First Wings event. I do want to do one of those in the near future, but I'm working over the ones that are set for the time being, at least. I think this one has a weather radar still, doesn't it? Can't remember. We're barely burning any fuel, which is always a good thing. But it does mean then that we're going to be landing quite heavy, I think, potentially. Which is not necessarily ideal. Dursey 2 overflow your old home of Aberystwyth. Nice little coastal Welsh town, that. Big student village though, isn't it? Rune Skog, welcome to the channel. Brand new on the channel and new to aviation. A very warm welcome on board to you. What would be the preferred starting pack for doing these flights? Any flights to Norway? So I guess the biggest question, Rune, for you is that I'd like to ask you is, what would you like to get out of your own simulator experience the most? What is it that you would like to do the most? Would you like to do airliners or general aviation flying? Would you prefer IFR or VFR? And what parts of the world would you like to fly around? Because some places have got incredibly good freeware scenery and others have got exceptional payware as well, and you could blend the two, keep it cost effective. If you want the really high quality, high fidelity airliners, then I can really recommend trying to learn the Aerosoft CRJ. That's really cool, and you get a lot out of it as well because it is quite hands-on. Brian, good afternoon. If you do want the Aerosoft CRJ, Rune, then I'd recommend checking out my tutorials for it on the channel. I'll basically cover all the basics you need to know to get from A to B in the CRJ, and I've done the same with the Aerosoft Twin Otter as well, which is great fun to fly. Both of those I can recommend a lot. The Twin Otter would be great for VFR, exploring the world, as we did the other day actually around Alaska. That was great. How are you doing, Brian? I hope you're well. Having a good week so far. Look at those ground textures below. That's fantastic. In fact, that has just reminded me, what is the current screenshot challenge on the Microsoft Flight Simulator forums? I do like to throw my name in the hat every now and again to that. Oh, Doctor on board, fantastic. Welcome. Thanks for joining us as a bronze frequent flyer, really appreciate that. For the first time. Awesome, love it, thank you. So the official screenshot challenge at the moment on the Flight Simulator forums for MSFS, the official one, is silhouettes apparently. So what does Jane say? It's time for another screenshot challenge. The idea is to collectively explore different parts of the world together. This week's challenge is silhouettes, shadows of planes, the outline of the horizon above a rocky scene, the clouds moving over a grassy field. All these represent interesting silhouettes that you can make inside Microsoft Flight Simulator. I have to look through all of my... Rune Skog, fantastic! Thank you very much. Joining us as a channel member as well. Warm welcome on board to you. Make sure, Rune, you head to our Discord server and link your YouTube account with your Discord user account, and it will get you access into the club lounge within our Discord server there as well. And we can, it's a members only area inside our Discord. Automator, good morning to you as well. A very warm welcome to you. Rune saying, thanks for the tips. I'll check out your tutorial. Would be nice to explore the world, maybe fly over the Atlantic. Watching this is good for the soul. Love it, thank you. And if you're in the background, come say hello, hit subscribe if you want to have a little chat in the live chat today, and don't forget to give the stream a little thumbs up as well. It'd be great to get over 100 before we get a little closer towards FlyTampa's Athens. If you want to download the Headwind Airbus A330 aircraft that we're operating today, then you can download it as freeware on flightsim.to, and the links should be, unless I've entirely forgotten, the links should be in the description of today's live stream as well, so do check those out. And if you've got some fantastic silhouette photographs or silhouette images from MSFS, then head to the MSFS forums and throw your name in the hat, get yourself an entry into their little screenshot challenge for the next dev update. I have to go through hundreds of screenshots, I think, to try and find out if I've got at least one that I can pop into the hat for that. Ideally, an Osprey Airways livery as well. That'd be good. Get that pipped up on the forums. I mean, silhouettes are basically shadows, aren't they? So sometimes they're easy to find, sometimes they're actually quite difficult to position correctly for a screenshot. Keith, hello to you, welcome. Have you seen, Brian's saying, have you seen that new aircraft lights mod? I can't find it. Somebody mentioned it inside our Discord server a little while ago, didn't they? A couple of days back, but yeah, it's definitely in there somewhere, but I haven't seen it myself yet. Andy, good afternoon as well. I assume the A330 has been updated recently. Last time I flew it, a few things were broken. Well, I've not operated it in a couple of months, I have to say, but a few things do seem to have been updated. We had a direct 2 on departure, and I had a little mild panic. I had a feeling, I remember last time using a direct 2, it just wiped everything afterwards in the flight plan, but it loaded everything in eventually again. It was all quite stable, at least so far. It's been pretty good. Mark is asking, do you know when the next First Wings event is? Let me find the link and I'll put it in the live chat for you, Mark, so you can sort of bookmark it. It's in our Discord server, because I know Doctor on Board did mention it the other day. There we go. So Saturday, March the 19th at 12Z to 16Z, and it's departing. It's a city triangle between BVNB, ZGGG and ZGKL, but I haven't got a link for it. It's just a like a screenshot image. Are we back on Unicom yet? We are. Good. Justin can't wait to see a sky full of Concorde very soon. It's going to be great, isn't it? We could all race across the Atlantic together. Be good fun. Alison saying Concorde is the best, most beautiful aircraft ever. I got a chunk of Filton's runway where all British-built Concorde took their first flights. That's quite a unique thing to own, isn't it? That's cool. Yeah, very soon, the next couple of weeks, we should be able to look forward to Concorde in MSFS. It will be getting released via Just Flight from DC Designs. Justin saying, do you know when they will fix the A320neo weather radar? Is it still in op? So it's still in op, and that's because they're waiting for the weather API, so they can go and model their own weather radar and stuff into it, basically. So yeah, there's no time frame of when the weather radar will come back online, Justin, sadly. I mean, I kind of preferred having one rather than nothing. But their argument is they don't want to have it because it's entirely incorrect in comparison to what the A320neo would display. Sometimes it's nice to see like the purple cells though, so you can work out if indeed you're going to go into icing conditions or anything like that. Doc, possibly. Andrew's father worked on Concorde installing the soundproofing. Wow. Did he retire with parts and things like that? Any special goodies that he took with him as mementos? What a remarkable thing to be able to say you did through your career, though, working on something like Concorde. Brian, yes, and I think PMDG have got their own weather radar in the 737, haven't they? I'm sure I saw it in a picture that they shared on their forums. So with that in mind, there must be something inside the API or the SDK that allows that to happen. ELPIS, let's see where that is in connection with our routing. We are literally skirting Adria radar at the moment over Serbia. In fact, we're flying over to the west of Belgrade, actually. Okay, well, we're over halfway. That's pretty cool. Alison saying they're tearing up Filton's runway for housing. Wow, I did not know that. I lived in Bristol for a little while myself, actually, in Long Ashton. Beautiful village on the outskirts of the city. One of my favourite cities in the UK, actually, Bristol. I spent a couple of months working at Bristol Airport for, it was at the time, Thomson Airways, back in the days where you had First Choice Airways and Thomson with sort of separate liveries operating under the same airline, if you like. That was good fun. Very good fun. I can't think which one is going to be my favourite aircraft that's coming soon. I think they're all going to be very good in their own right, aren't they? And that's going to make it very difficult. If they all come at once, it's going to make it exceptionally hard to choose which ones to pick. And I'm sure a lot of us will end up just getting all of them. Just out of, was it FOMO, fear of missing out? Understandable, of course. The high fidelity aircraft coming soon are just, it's going to be impeccable, isn't it, for options within the sim. Surprised we've not had any aircraft sort of conflicting with us and zipping along past us yet on the airways. One of our next routings that will be coming soon will be a flight from Adana, the new Aerosoft Adana scenery, across to Dalaman and back. So we'll do a little bit Turkish domestic hop, which will be quite nice. First time doing something like that actually. We'll explore the new Adana scenery, but also the Simulations Dalaman, which recently got an update. We've not been there for a little while now actually. So we can go and explore that too. Have a little look to see what's changed. Justin's really looking forward to Flybois Airbus A380. It's going to be a little while waiting for that, but it's going to be exceptionally good when that does come. Flying the big birds around. I'm going to be looking forward to those sort of like the BA proving flights. When it first got delivered, they were flying between London Heathrow and Frankfurt for a little while. That's going to be good fun. Hopefully we'll get some great Frankfurt scenery, payware or something like that will come in the near future. Andrew's throwing a slightly off the wall question, but do you have any fans of BBC radio series Cabin Pressure? Not heard of it. Is it a new series or it's a radio series? What's it about? Brian's saying, when flying on VATSIM, what are your traffic settings in sim? So I literally turn it all off entirely. What VATSIM does is it injects its own traffic into the simulator using vPilot, so you don't need to worry about anything else. Doctor on board saying traffic out of Beograd below. Wish I knew where to look. I know, let's look at Valanta quick. We'll spot our routing. You mean Belgrade? Quite far away though in reality. I think they're sort of down through the cloud down there somewhere. Scott's saying I flew the heck out of the PMDG 738 in FSX and is eager to get your hands on the Microsoft Flight Simulator version. It's looking good. It is really looking very nice. From all the dev updates, thanks to Rob from PMDG on their little forums. Alison saying Filton is Echo Golf Tango Golf. It's still a working runway in MSFS, though the topography is a bit wrong. If Concorde comes, you'd have to do a first flight from there. There's no scenery for it though, is there, sadly? It'd be great if we had Filton Airbus there. Percy 2's almost crashed his little GA aircraft into Taliban. Nice. Yes, PMDG do some fantastic tutorials. for their aircraft add-ons. In fact, they did some brilliant ones for the DC-6, like Steve Jukes pointed out. Showed the complexity of it wonderfully as well. Jay, what's happened to the Quality Wing 787? We were discussing this in Discord the other day. We weren't sure because it's been so long since they dropped any update. But apparently, somebody found them. Somebody found a response from Quality Wings on a random Facebook post somewhere within the community saying we're still working on it, and it's just taking us a lot longer than we realised. And that I think they regretted. It was something like they regretted. It was something like they regretted setting the target date of June 2020, 2021, because they quickly realised they wouldn't be able to achieve that. But they have been entirely radio silent since, so not entirely sure myself. It'd be nice to get something from them, wouldn't it? Goob has a question with the transponder. How do I put mode Charlie in the transponder? So, is this for VATSIM or something else? If it's for VATSIM, on these aeroplanes, just simply popping it on, or auto, should put it onto mode Charlie, especially if you've got, where is it, alt reporting on, which is that one there. But if you're not sure, what you can do on vPilot is in your settings inside vPilot, under miscellaneous, there's a little tick box for automatically squawk mode Charlie on takeoff. So if you tick that, the moment your wheels are off the ground, it should, he says, start to squawk mode Charlie for you automatically. So it takes the worry out of it. And to be certain that mode Charlie is active on the vPilot client, between disconnect and ident, that little mode C icon should be green. Backers Arthur, yeah, they need to say something, don't they? Centurio, hello, welcome, I hope you're well. Good morning to you over in the States. Generic pilot, yes. The Milvis ATR, of course. That's coming soon as well. They've been working on that for quite a few months, actually, haven't they? Easily forgotten about, actually. Personally, I had forgotten about that, so... well remembered, actually. What else is coming? There's got to be a lot more coming soon. I mean, of course, PMDG are working on their long-haul airliners as well, so they're looking at what they're looking at. Their 777 and a 747 option for MSFS. And if you want anybody building a high-fidelity airliner to be as good as it can be, PMDG are the ones that you want building it. So that's going to be really exciting. And you've also got a 757 being developed soon, or just been announced, hasn't it? Via Just Flight. So maybe this time next year we should get one of my key aircraft that I'm looking forward to in MSFS, the 757. That'd be great. I'd love to do some nostalgic Britannia Airways, Thompson Airways 757 hops to Greece and back from Birmingham, Bristol, that sort of thing. But yeah, over the next couple of weeks, like we were discussing at the beginning of today's stream, you've got the MD-80 from Leonardo, you've got Just Flight's BA-146 coming soon, the PMDG 737, you've got lots of stuff coming soon. And it is a really exciting time for those of us on MSFS. I find it difficult to pin which one I'm looking forward to the most, because there are so many really good sounding aircraft coming soon. So it makes it tough, doesn't it? I mean, with all the aircraft coming soon as well, we've got some brilliant scenery as well, and soon I'm going to be able to show you guys the new Mako Simulations Airport as well. So progress has been slow over the last couple of months, but it's picked up, ramped up pace. It's they're making good progress at Mako Simulations, getting a bit closer towards being able to think about releasing their new secret airport scenery. More will follow over the next couple of weeks, months, well, couple of weeks actually, I think. And I'll be looking to bring you guys some content with that as well when that does surface and get announced formally. It's really good as well. You guys are going to love it. Brady, hello to you. Justin, Top Gun, of course. Oh, the new Top Gun's getting released soon, isn't it? I hate going to the cinema, but I will make an exception for that. Goobs dropping a little heads up on the A330 on the descent. Some bugs with screens go dark, flight plan goes away. Brilliant. What do we reckon? Is that going to happen to us today? I do seem to be the king of bad luck, so... Brian, A2A have been quiet too. What are they creating? I don't think I'm aware of anything that they're creating actually. Generic pilots looking forward to Concorde. It's going to be cool. It absolutely is, yes. Give me shelter. Hello to you as well. Just tuned in. Welcome. Did you say if there's a decent 747 on its way? Yes, there is a high fidelity one from PMDG. It's a couple of years away. Maybe 2-ish years away, but they're going to be working on a 747 for MSFS. It's going to be very exciting actually. That's going to be great. Flying the old bird, jumbo jet, queen of the skies. I think we're closer than we realise, you know. GA planes, I know they've done some work with MSFS recently. Yeah, I'm trying to think actually. Alison, yeah, Top Gun 2, the longest gap between original film and the sequel, yeah. And remember, back in August, MSFS were going to drop the Top Gun package, which then got delayed as well. So it'll be nice to see that appear. Athens coming up into view there. Good to see Fly Live Studios broken. Let me refresh the top bar. I was looking at progress thinking, there is no way we're 25% of the way there. We've already passed Serbia and places like that. That's better, 65%. Shamrock, hello, loved watching the group flight the other day. Awesome, good to hear. Wonder if MSFS has fixed all those SID and star issues with Berlin. Avoid flying there for ages now. You know what, we had a nice SID that we didn't have many issues with, but we do have Navigraph nav data installed, so perhaps that helped. Dan, Skyways 1713 on Volanta, just west of Barcelona approach. And Brian, Skyways 1333. West, that was east. There he is, Dan, gotcha. Skyways 1713. Flying to LAMC, nice. We'll have to think about putting in our arrival data and things soon. Prior to the ATC going offline, we did have what was it now? 03 right, wasn't it? Jay's just flying over Kosovo. New bricks, what's the best long-haul aircraft in the sim right now in your opinion from systems and flight model? So it's a bit of a difficult one really because they're all a bit basic. I'm going to still stick with, well, it's a really difficult balance between the Heavy Division 787-10 and also Salty Simulation 747 because they're pretty good. Brian, can you run Volanta on a separate PC? You can, but I don't know if it would work particularly well with... I don't know how you would track your flights on the other PC, if that makes sense. You can log into Volanta on your phone when you're flying along and you can track flights and things like that, which is quite good, but you need to have it running on your aircraft, or on your PC that you're running the sim on, I believe. Craig J is just out of Gibraltar, Skyways 5339. There he is, Skyways 5339, off to Mahon. Is there like an event going on or something at the moment then? Some Spanish things. Generic pilot, how does it work when the third-party devs make an airport that's included in the deluxe edition? So for me, I've got Premium Deluxe. I had a Sobo's Premium Deluxe Heathrow. I uninstalled it via the content manager. I removed it. Let's have a little look at putting in some of this arrival data, shall we, folks? Now we're closing in, almost in Greek airspace. Beautiful part of the sim to fly around in. We'll clear some of these Berlin charts from the Navigraph charts client. And here we go. So ROPOX 1 Charlie arrival over Greece, heading out over to Edgina. NDB 382, we'll tune that in. There's a hold there if we have to hold for any reason, which of course now in the A32NX is a feature, but not in this one at the moment, in the A330neo. It's trailing behind quite a bit. From there, ILS Zulu runway 03 approach, so Egina, heading then southeast to intercept the ILS. Commencing a turn there from the radial of 219 degrees. As we cross that, we'll be then looking to establish on the ILS 03 right. Treble 1.1 for that frequency and a course of 032. Missed approach wise, it says for briefing, strip and information notes, see final approach charts. Which is this one, which we didn't yet pin. So, the final approach, climb straight ahead and intercept. For a missed approach this is, intercept and follow the radial of 032 to Spa. At 5 dimmy, turn right, max 200 knots, intercept the radial of 334 degrees to Kea VOR, inbound Kea VOR, and hold at 5,000, which is there over the water. Minimums, we'll fly it in manually ourselves. We'll do 471 for precision height as well, so we'll get all of this tuned in. Dan, you can never show Osprey Airways too much love. Can't believe my eyes. 471 for our missed approach, Cat 1 ILS. I think transition is 10,000 from the ATIS that we read earlier. I'm trying to remember now off the top of my head. Dot METAR, LGAV, and it's winds 020 at 13 knots. UNH1010, and a temperature of 11 degrees Celsius. Happy days. V approach 133. That's actually slower than I thought we would be. So this is where we risk breaking everything now. So there's ROPOX. We'll do it early so that if it does go horribly wrong, we know that we just got to go direct TALAS, direct ELPIS, direct ROPOX, and that's it. Dan, yes. To be fair, I'm probably due another warning email soon. Tim, hello to you. Where can I download the A330? This one on flightsim.to, and in fact, if you click the links in the description, you should be able to find the link there for it. But if not, just type in Headwind A330 in the search. On flightsim.to, and it should load up there for you. And don't let me forget to replay our landing, folks, as well. We'll see it from the outside. We'll watch touchdown cam. Oh, did you guys catch that wing flex? Look at that. Doctor on board. The Scoot aircraft is doing the 5th Freedom flight from Berlin to Athens. It's departing to Singapore now. Fantastic. Now that must be the new wing flex that they mentioned about. Oh, wide FS, Brian. Perhaps. I'm not sure what that is. Perhaps. 100 thumbs up, fantastic. I'm getting weird crackly noises now inside this aeroplane. Doesn't fill me with much confidence. We stick with it, we're good. Right, let's try and put this arrival in, see what happens. Arrival. ILS 03 right Zulu, that's the one we want. And we want the Roper 1 Charlie arrival. Let me double check that because I don't want to break anything. Yeah, ROPOX 1 Charlie. Via. Ooh. None of those. We certainly want to go. We don't want to go via DDM. We want to go in via Egina. I wonder if it's that one. Let's click it, see what happens. And I'll just insert it for now. It still says DDM. Of course it does. I wonder if I can put in next waypoint EGN. Let's try and manually do this on the fly. If not, we'll just have to self-vector ourselves. And basically just sort of see what happens, I guess. EGN. Right, let's test the theory here, see if we've got this right. We might have to delete a waypoint. KOGAT, TALAS, ELPIS, ROPOX, EGN. Oh, there we go, love it, we've done it. Perfect, and then final approach. In the RadNav page, we want to make sure we've got the right frequency tuned in, so ILS Zulu 1111. Always check this, no matter what aircraft you're flying in, of course, as well, if you've got the course mode, in the new Flyby A330X, you can also put in the course 032, but it won't read it in this one. But always make sure, no matter what you fly, you always make sure that you've got something there for you to be able to fly tune, basically. So we want SPA 1175. Stick that in BOR 1, and we'll stick 032 in. And we had Egina, which is 382 on the NDB. We'll use ADF2 for that one. Actually, yes, that's fine. And then for missed approach, KA 1150. Just in case we go around, we'll have to route via KA. We'll do VOR2 for that one. And we want to intercept a radial of, let's see, 334 degrees. So we'll do is 154. What weird crackly noise again. Oh, hello. Does this have the load passengers ability in FlyPad? So it doesn't have the load ability, no. You can load it all via the page inside the MCDU menu, as you could a little while ago in the A320X. It does have a FlyPad, but I don't use it too much. It's more of the basic version of the FlyPad that we had a little while back. I think we're almost there though, so we've got everything set up and we've kind of briefed for the approach too. Dercy 2's done a buttery 60 foot per minute landing in Carnarvon, and that concludes his routing from Bristol to Swansea, Haverfordwest, Talabon and Carnarvon. Nice little route. Love a little bit of GA action and MSFS. What altitude do we need to be at ROPOX? We're about 10,000 feet, I think. So we're at 39,000. So it's saying we're going to need 100 nautical miles and 1,540 foot per minute to achieve 10,000 feet by ROPOX. And a 20-minute descent time, basically. Nubric Sims is just turned into a slideshow on 1 nautical mile final. Never had that before. Hope you never again. Good grief. Where were you flying? Red keeps getting the crackle noise as well since the last sim update. Keeps getting worse, and then the frames drop. So yeah, I remember having it across the pond ages ago, and what caused it? I think it was the live weather. I can't remember now. But we did have a little issue, didn't we? I remember the crackling coming in, and then the frames dropped a little bit. It was like the precursor to it. But in fairness, I'm also running a lot of programs to stream all of this today. So it could just be the fact we're kind of abusing the sim. We're punishing it somewhat. Thessaloniki is, God, panning the aircraft around. It really doesn't like that. Thessaloniki is through there somewhere. Oh, Dercy, what a great choice of drink. What gin do you like? That's the question. You've not tried Roku, then I can highly recommend that. It's a Japanese gin. It's beautiful. Venice. The last time I flew into Venice, I ended up with a crash to desktop, bizarrely. We'll be descending through this blanket of cloud as well. Sean Delaney, welcome. Hello to you. I have an issue with the takeoff flaps on the A330-900. Yes, so we had that on departure, and the trick is to extend it to flaps 2. So extend flaps 1, let it settle, then extend it to flaps 2, let it settle, and then retract it back to flap 1. Then press your takeoff config test, and you should see it clear at that point. It's a weird bug. It's been in place for quite a while now, actually, I think. Great memories in Thessaloniki, doctor on board. Yes, a rather nice holiday, that. Shamrock, anyone else get the issue on vPilot where another person's transmission gets extremely loud and distorted? Yes. I don't think it's anything that we can fix on our own ends, though. Charles going to treat himself to a nice cranberry and vodka. Very nice. We're going to be looking for ROPOX to sort of just tickle into this side of that 120 nautical mile range ring there on our nav display. And then we know that we are at top of descent, basically. But we are getting an interesting bit of crackling noise. I mean, I haven't yet even fired up Flight Recorder yet for the replay. It is a very good, nice gin, yes. But yourself, you're currently trying, or currently enjoying a Sambler 41 Mediterranean Dry. What part of the Mediterranean is it from? We've got Easy 887 ahead of us, and Alpine 51 Bravo Alpha as well, with UC flying along leading the pack. It's going to be down to us to manage this because we don't have any ATC yet, which is great, which is fine in this because we are testing out an aircraft which is a little bit playful at times, so it can go wrong. CM7MD, welcome. Hello to you. Hope you're well. Having a good weekend, hopefully, or having a good week so far, I should say. Perhaps we should go, let's see, you go outside. Oh, that bit's killing on the frames, look at that. So there must be something within the mod that's causing some frame loss. But then I'm not very techie, so I don't know. See, that just triggered my frames to drop to 7, bizarrely. He's not happy about something. Yari, hello to you. Try Finnish gin called Napui. I wonder if that gets sold in the UK. I'd love to try that. Goob, what are your thoughts on the 737 Bread Dog? Awful. And Nizarul, is this upcoming update A330neo? So it's out at the moment. It's available to download for free on flightsim.to. But it is punishing my sim now after 2 and a bit hours. Although not so much in drone camera, which is quite nice. About 10,000 at ROPOX Leonardo, but I'm going to go more between 8 and 10, I think. I'll just aim for whichever is most achievable, I guess. Reds, getting the crackle in the flybower and the CRJ as well. Could it be a graphics driver issue? Cythera has summed up the Bredox 737 perfectly there in the live chat. It is not good. Don't buy it, guys. If you want a 737, get the PMDG 737 when it releases. That Bredox thing is just an atrocity. There is nothing nice that can be said about it, sadly. Yeah. It triggers me. Thinking about how much money they've made off people with that awful add-on. I'm going to Google that gin now, see if I can locate it on the internet. Apu gin. I probably pronounced it entirely wrong. Oh, I found it. Hero gin. With distillery. Herbal rye-based Kiro gin, formerly known as Napui, is best known as the world's best gin for gin and tonic. Would you look at that? Oh, it's on Amazon. Brilliant. Oh, look at that turn. Oh, that's expensive. I will have to try it now, though. We'll get one on order. I'll get round to it in about 4 bottles' time. Lee's asking, what do you use for the drone, or the key bindings for the drone camera? Just literally the WASD RNF keys, and also the numlock, the numpad on the keyboard. Generic pilot indeed, yes. They are taking advantage of new simmers, basically. Bredoc, well summarised. And yeah, it's kind of... I can't call it a scam, because it's not a scam, but it's just a disgrace. Without sounding awful. Brilliant. So if you go out of drone cam, you go to a slideshow. This is going to be interesting as we arrive at Athens then, isn't it? Paul, sadly no wing views in this. It doesn't have any wings, any wing cabin views or anything. I'm not sure how well this is going to work for us, you know. I wonder how many frames we end up with. Paris, clouds are just set to high, although they've become very pixelated over the last couple of minutes. Weirdly enough. Can't work out why. Sometimes they look wonderful. They look really nice. We want 160. ROPOX is now tickling into that 120 band. So when it gets almost halfway, that's our top of descent. That'll be 100 nautical miles then. So we can. I wonder if this will fix it once we start fiddling around with the autopilot a bit. Or... I'll just set 100, we'll see what happens, we'll monitor it as we go. Have you got many mods installed and running at the moment in this session, Sean? Good question. We've got the toolbar pushback mod with all the latest pushback pre-planning services and things like that. That's fantastic. So if you've not checked it out, check out the video that I put live on the channel a couple of days ago showing you all the latest for that and how to use it across 2 scenarios as well. We are running the landing rate monitor with FSU IPC7, P-Pilot obviously for VATSIM as well, Volanta and Navigraph. Quite a few. Yeah, you know what? The MSFS marketplace winds me up because, yeah, they want to make a world-beating simulator, but their marketplace is just full of dross. It's full of really bad stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's some fantastic add-ons in there, but there is no quality control. If they can make money out of it and get their 30% and it works, it goes in. And I think that just seems to be the deciding factor, and it's a real shame because they could enforce some quality control and have the best add-ons inside their own marketplace. And that all round is better for the community, in my opinion. Yeah, Captain Sim is another one. They're just an absolute disgrace as well. They used to be very highly regarded in the sim community, from what I understand. But yeah, awful, awful add-ons. They couldn't even be bothered to create sounds for their aircraft. Oh, what does it say about them? If they can't even be bothered to create sounds, that's half the immersion. Top of descent, down we go. We are, Jesus creepers, let's kill that rate of descent. 4,300 foot per minute. Absolutely no thank you. We'll do 12. We'll give everybody nosebleeds in the back. Alex, how about the guy selling liveries? That's a disgrace. It is. I think, isn't that Brecod as well? I think. I feel like that is also Brecod. You see, generic pilot, the difficulty for Xbox, I guess, is it's entirely different in its target audience. With a PC, with Flight Sim, you get a lot of immersion, you get a lot of hardware that connects to it, and yeah. I think Xbox is an opportunity for some developers of a rather nasty standing to just make money out of people. But because you're controlling most of the time with an Xbox controller, I think they know that a lot of Xbox users might not necessarily want the super high fidelity aircraft, because for those you need not a complex setup, but you need ways to control all of the different functions of your aircraft, potentially. Yeah, it is Bredox selling liveries as well. Yeah, sums it up, doesn't it? Horrible studio. Bit of wing flex. Power saw, yes. Doctor on board. I haven't filled in the go around page, no. I haven't checked it yet, actually. Let's see if it lands safely, Jay. Yes. Let's see if we have frames per second left, let alone foot per minute. I mean, the view changing is problematic. We're getting random spikes of very low frames for a split second again. I don't think in this we have much of an amendable go around page, but Doc, if you've got the figures, I can pop it in. Yeah, generic pilot. I think that's a good way of sort of describing MSFS on Xbox. It's more of a game than a simulator, or for the high fidelity stuff at least. And it kind of makes sense in the way that Microsoft have now gone into the Xbox cloud gaming as well. You can supposedly stream MSFS via your mobile phones now, which is quite incredible to think that they've mastered that sort of thing. But if you want a true sim experience, you need a PC really, but I understand that then becomes very expensive for people, and for some people it's therefore unaffordable, which is a real shame. Nerd, yeah, I'm glad you guys can hear it as well. It's a weird sound. Thrust reduction page then from the dock. 1776. Let's see if it goes in. /3276. It should be amendable. There we go. Wonderful. And 1276. Would you look at that? Now I think I remember when the last time I used this, when we activated approach phase, everything disappeared. So we'll see what happens. We'll get our most up-to-date METAR as well. Winds are now 030 at 12 according to the latest status. So we've got a rather nice headwind actually. Temperature's still 11 degrees, QNH still 1010. So we will change that. 1010. We'll get this one ready as well. 1010. Generic pilot, would you recommend the FlyTampa Athens scenery? Yes, it is really nice. It is remarkably good. I can highly recommend it. Sean, let's hope not. I'm still getting on my dashboard thing 35 frames per second, but I wonder if I move the screen. Actually, I'll see what happens when I pan around. It drops to like 7 very quickly. What I'm worried about, I don't want a crash to desktop. That's the biggest thing. Yeah, FlyTampa is one of the best scenery developers, I think. Crackling is a bizarre noise though. Can't work out why it's doing it. The only thing that we're doing differently today is using the A330. Ah, you know what? I reckon it could be. There was a memory leak with this ages ago when that was a split comm stack. No. Oh well, who knows what it is. We might have a slideshow for approach. In which case I'll turn the landing rate monitor off because I don't want it to kill Osprey Airways' landing ratings. Oh dear. If those of you flying along actually as well, either ahead or behind, are you getting the same thing with your aircraft at the moment? Tim's saying, is it possible to fly the 777 with the Salty mod? I know there is a compatibility mod for it, but personally, I really am against buying payware, but then mod it with a freeware mod. If that makes sense. It should work already to a good standard. Jay's right behind us. Oh, frames. Owl right behind. Are you literally up my chuff? Geez, looking good though. Look at that. Wonderful livery. Love it. Leonardo's okay at the moment. He's using the fly-by-wire. Sea average happened to be yesterday in the fly-by-wire. Starting having stutters at cruise, then at about a mile out on approach, the frames tanked to 4. Ugh. Try turning the tablet off. It is off, I think. It is off. Let's try turning it on and off again. Let's see what happens. It's probably going to make it worse. Who knows? There is definitely a memory leak somewhere with this though. But we're doing alright, we're getting there. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the stream so far. We're almost at our destination. FlyTampa's Athens. The link for that is in the description as well if you do want to get your hands on the scenery. I think it's in the description, let me check. Wonderful bit of scenery. No, it's not. Just working to put in the links in now for you guys. So if you do want to get your hands on either the Berlin Brandenburg scenery that we departed from, or in fact the FlyTampa Athens, then the links will now be in the live chats, in the description for today's live stream. Sorry, not the live chat, in the description. Cythera or Iden, pause and unpause. Cythera, I really love the CLJ, personally. 20 miles. Oh, let's get that rate of descent up, I think. Peter. Well, I'm glad I've not lost sound. Brilliant. Let's continue to 8. Sean, so we've got Volanta's state saving on, so hopefully that'll work okay for us. And it's not Volanta because I've closed Volanta. It's definitely within the sim, either the add-on or something. Who knows? That Embraer. Yes, by Virtual Call. Very rubbish as well, isn't it? Pretty rubbish. It'll be a memory leak within this add-on somewhere, but again, when it gets updated, patched, it'll be fixed, won't it? Let's just go back to open descent. We'll see what happens. I know with the Flyboy mod ages ago, or the Flyboy A330-900 ages ago, there was a memory leak with the comms stack. Could be that actually. Anyway, we've got VORs 1 and 2 on, so that's Kea and Spa. Do Aegina first. This is going to be interesting trying to land this with strange stuttering. We'll get the flight recorder program ready to go as well. Athens traffic, Osprey 165 heavy, Airbus A330-900 inbound on the ROPOX. 1 Charlie arrival, expecting ILS runway 103 right. Descending through flight level 120, 10 track miles from ROPOX. Athens traffic. Mark, so you go into your menu for your sim, you click load, and inside there Volanta will be caching flights. You've got to find the most recent file basically. It's a bit difficult to show you. 1010, 1010. Aegina. Aegina. Sure I said it that time. Did I not? Jay's not getting any crackling at all. We're going to go IMC now into the clouds. Like poor frames. Oh, little weather update there. And now the clouds broke. do 6,000 for now. I think for the next bit we want to be 4,000 by Egina. $29 track miles to that, so that's achievable, especially with the deceleration here. Landing lights on, pop the belts on, one-way turn. We'll make sure strobes are on, or like on instead of auto. Egg inner. Egg inner. Let's just target 4,000. We'll get through this cloud. Now, we've got to activate this, and this is potentially where it all goes Pete Tong. So I'm going to just arm that for a second. Funnily enough, it wants to go straight to the runway. So we'll go direct to Egina. But my poor aeroplane. We'll see what happens here. I mean, the MCDU is now frozen, and it's just cleared everything. Brilliant. This is what I hate about older mods with sort of lesser compatibility. I mean, that is just... what on earth? Init request. No, aeroplane. Stay on the green dot, please. It's all broken. Let's have a look. We've got to try and fix this quick. Proper 1 Charlie. Oh, that was Kea. No, we don't want Kea. Okay, we're back in. We're back in it. We're back in it. We need a bit of speed brake to help us out here. Oh, stupid plane. Right, let's just use heading mode. This is not usable otherwise. It shows you how good our flight plan managers are in the LNAV and things. Sean, exactly. Well, it's more when stuff doesn't, you know, all this starts to bug out. We're all doomed, Brian. Jay, it looks like you probably won't get too far with Cross the Pond, sadly. We want an NDB, don't we? Interestingly, it's not really recognised the fact that we're below the transition, which is a bit bizarre. Anyway, we've got it. I'm confident. We're okay. We're looking good. All the lights on. Even if the frames be struggling for some bizarre reason with a memory leak. This is available to download on flightsim.to if you do want to give it a go yourselves. Life jacket's ready, Steve. Just don't inflate it inside the aircraft. Oh man. This simulator does test us sometimes. I'm not convinced. Approach mode is armed again. So it seems to have reset itself. Actually, we don't want to turn here either. Marina, hello, welcome. We got loads of fuel. Rune, yes, potentially heavy one. So we kind of want to extend out and create more of a straight line across to this USR waypoint, and that should be our ILS approach. If I check the RadNav page, we've still got all our data in. That's important. If you change anything, make sure that all of that is still present. What is our approach speed? 133 into the clouds.
Athens traffic, Alpine 51, Bravo Alpha, established on a localizer 03 right.
Use is established. Final approach from 3,200. Let's go sterile cockpit and go quiet mode for a minute. Where's my cursor? There it is. Thank you, Microsoft Flight Simulator, giving it me back. Low auto brake, spoilers are armed. We should be crossing Egina any second. He says. But I am watching the needle here. That'll do us. So that green arrow there is going to be telling us where the NDB is for Egina, and we then want to swing a left at that point. It's 101 degrees. So we're manually vectoring ourselves now, in short. And interestingly, look at the rate of descent. It's woeful. It's really bad. Use a bit of spoilers again. Speed brake. Actually, we've got a terrain radar. Let's arm the speed brake. And that NDB should switch now. Look at it moving from 200 degrees. That means we're literally overflying it now. So we've done that bang on. 300, I've overshot that. It's 101, wasn't it? (101). Paul, good question. It's really difficult for me to choose between the two, actually. I'm really looking forward to all of them in their own right. It's going to be rather fantastic. Let's start the recording of the flight recorder mod. Not that that's going to help any frames per second whatsoever. We'll go flaps 1.
(2,500).
Cabin check. We've done that 3 times now. Chowdhury, hello. It's interesting. Let's say that. We're not sure if we're going to land with a slideshow or not. Either way, we will manually fly the rest of this in ourselves. Once we get established on the ILS, about 1,000 feet or so, we'll deactivate the autopilot and we'll fly in like true professionals. She is looking good in this livery. Flying into Greece. 32, no worries. Leaving at the key moment. Will we get down? What do you guys reckon, actually? Landing rate, guessing time. Especially with these weird instability that's triggering this memory leak. Chowdhury, you can give it a go. Mason's asking, is the aircraft not VATSIM ready? So we're on VATSIM at the moment, but it's hit and miss. So I'm trying to keep things nice and simple with it. If you do direct twos or you change the arrival procedures, once you hit approach mode, it just wipes everything off. We've got an aeroplane above us. The only thing that we can't really work out at the moment is this weird memory leak. Look at those clouds. Just wonderful. Treble A, sadly no. Weirdly, the S speed is 178 knots, which is a bit strange because it should be a bit quicker than that, shouldn't it? It should be like 180 or something like that. At least in the A320 it's 180. Which has this bit of pessimism trickling in there. Let's hold 180, get that nose down, shall we, folks? 030. So it was 060 for the establishing. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily take the gamble either, to be honest. Especially, I would definitely not use it in a major VATSIM event, because then you're asking for trouble, basically. Gonna go flaps 2 again now, but I'm manually selecting 180. Because I want a bit of drag on the airframe, just to see what it does nearer to this approach phase. This is sort of the key stage of flight, isn't it? About 14 miles, 16 miles actually from the display at the bottom on the PFD. Here come the frames. Okay, so that's too aggressive. Chowdhury, no problem. So, actually, we need to correct that. Back across you go. I can see the runway, so the arrow, now the arrow's moving. The aeroplane should want to align itself. The A320X does a wonderful job of it, of course. Athens traffic, Osprey 165 heavy, established 12 miles, ILS runway 03 right, Athens traffic. Okay. Let's do this. It's still slightly offset us, look. But hopefully that will sort itself out nearer. Otherwise we'll have to fight to get this all established and sorted out nicely. Go insert onto drone mode. Beautiful grease. Can't hear anything that they're saying. We're about 8 miles. Let's just get the gear down. And I'll go flaps 3 just before we hit the glide slope here. We'll just see what the aeroplane does. It should capture F. Glide slope, armed. Oh, Neil, interesting. So I'm just running Navigraph charts, their main program, but then I've always done that, so odd. We're doing okay. As long as we're not moving the camera around, we're okay. But there's definitely a memory leak somewhere. I suspect more in the sim.
2,500.
I think it's manageable. FlyTampa's Athens. Coming up. Look at that, beautiful scenery. And I think it's time to go full flap. I'll get back in the flight deck to let let the chaos of the frames stabilise themselves as we get ready to fly this in ourselves. Rad out 1400. Athens traffic, Osprey 165 heavy, 4 miles, ILS 03 right.
1,000.
This doesn't have autopilot 1 and 2 like the Flyby-Wire A330-900X has either, so it's quite an early version. We're geared down, full flaps, 3 green. Camo mesh, no blue. Let's fly her in. So all pull off. Wow, thank you.
1,000.
Wow. Wonderful job in spite of all the problems. But it's again a smiley face.
Egina. Is that right? Or am I still just getting it woefully incorrect? Egg inner. Or is it just Egina? We're doing okay. I know the frames are... I can hear that annoying crackling noise. Which is goddamn frustrating. Even the robot's giving up on life.
300.
Jesus. What is this memory leak?
100 above.
Slow motion callouts. It's making it quite difficult. Anyway, we ignore the pappies. Christ almighty.
40, 30, 20, retard, 10, 5.
Oh, touchdown. I'll have that with these conditions. Let's close some add-ons. I mean, there we go. We're down, folks. Yes, we've literally fried butter on a hot pan for that landing, folks. Love it, Chinook pilot. It makes it more distracting to try and land this. Call-outs from the grave. Oh, fantastic. Hey, you know what? We've not flown this for a little while. We're giving it a go, aren't we? And it's not the scenery. It's just got to be a memory leak from. It's got to be from within this add-on, surely. Let's decrease the flaps. Athens traffic, Osprey 165, runway vacated, taxi to the gates. Should do it in a robot voice. Generic, I'm not sure actually. Andy, I love a good circling approach. Hopefully you've seen a number of my tutorials.
(2E909) Athens traffic, ILS 03 right.
Weirdly enough, it's definitely not solved itself. But it's just about manageable. Samia, are you using the stable version of the FlyTampa A330-900neo, or are you using something else? Because I know it's the stable version has kind of got a deceptive name. A lot of people think it's their most stable version, but in actual fact, a lot of the time, you will find that it's better to use either the development branch or the experimental version. Our bleeder's on, good stuff. And we shall park next to, I think that is UC. Condor A321. Doctor on board. Oh, it is gate A3. I was just about to say I'm going this one. We'll pretend like we planned it. Ah, Samia, interesting. This is such a wonderful bit of scenery, folks. FlyTampa's Athens, LimeSim's Aerosoft Berlin as well, which we departed from, is just spectacular. I mean, look at that for an internal bit here. That lady walking through the gate room. Stop recording on the flight recorder mob. No static aircraft. We'll leave the engines running because we want to do the flight replay. Condor A320neo, look at that. We'll zip over here quick because we want to watch a landing. Oh, Calvi. Oh, you just managed it with the 747-8. Good grief. Can they even fly in there? Oh, doctor on board. What are the chances? That's fantastic. Right, there is the touchdown zone. Ta-da!
Athens traffic, IJet, ILS.
So we got
12 miles.
1, 2, 3. I can see 3 aircraft inbound. And then there's an Emirates. Coming in. It's a 2E737. we've got an Osprey A330neo coming in as well, so we're going to get to kind of see what our approach looked like from this direction.
2E909, runway vacated.
It's an aircraft over there that looked quite offset. Don't know who that is. But I don't think they're landing on 03 left, 03 right. Oh, hello. Where did he come from? You should do this flight in a 2E livery when the PMDG 737 comes out. Absolutely. We're going to be getting a lot of wear on those tyres when the 737 from PMDG gets released. We're going to have a good flyabout on that. Where's the aeroplane gone? I can just about see some lights up there.
Athens traffic range local download 4 miles, runway 03 left.
That's the Aegean 2 Delta Tango. Well, we could go higher up, get a view of this wonderful FlyTampa scenery and the threshold. Watch his touchdown, perhaps. There's the train, the animations. And in fact, with the Latin VFR's ground vehicle kit that you can now download with the FedEx trucks and things driving about, that actually makes it look really fantastic. Where is he? Oh, Atlas Air's going. Here comes the Aegean A320. We are maximum zoom at the moment. Makes you realise how big this airport scenery actually is though, because it's quite a way away, this other runway. Oh, it's going to be smooth. It's going to be super smooth. Look at that. Oh, that was butter. That looked remarkably smooth. Generic pilot, no, sadly not, but some scenery developers can route them around. So Mako Simulations, for example, found a way to map the aircraft, map the ground vehicles on certain routes within the area, which is quite cool. Where are these other folks? There's the Aegean. Jay's coming in and... Is he on VATSIM? Say. You on VATSIM, Jay? I think you are, aren't you? If he is, we should see him appear soon in the in the A330. Oh no, he's not. Gutted. Oh well. So, I mean, that gives us opportunity because now we can zoom this down here. We can turn the rotate speed up a little bit more. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There we go. Drone follow mode off. Perfect. And we can replay our final approach now. Willie Canuck, good afternoon. I hope you're well. How's the show? Look at that. So this is a replay now using the flight recorder program, freeware again on flightsim.to, and it will give you, basically if you haven't tried it before, it gives you the opportunity to record your flights, and it will recognise the states of the aircraft, so gear down, flaps, things like that, and then it doesn't always get it right, but it allows you to then replay your landing and watch it back, which is quite cool. Which is what we're doing now. I think this is about where we had about 5 frames per second.
Lufthansa 280, traffic, Athens,
Oh.
ILS 03 right.
Look at that. The frames are dying though on it, but she looks fantastic at Athens, doesn't she? In the livery. So there was our little replay, and we got one of the guys flying along with the Lufthansa livery that's now established on final approach as well. Oh, the noises. Look at that. We're going to quickly, we've got Greek Athens radar on, so very quickly I'm just going to park back up because he's just appeared. Oops. Oh, that was close. That's the other problem with the flight recorder app. It can sometimes really scupper you up, but there we go. Let's jump back into the flight deck and we'll shut down the... It's turned all the lights back on again. APU's gone, that's the main thing anyway, that's good. Yeah, there's definitely a memory leak inside this add-on. It's got to be this add-on. I've not experienced it in any other things yet. Oops, Jesus, there we go. Now I can't remember. There's the Lufthansa, the nav lights. Oh, I can't remember if the jetways work. No, that's a shame. And I've definitely turned the strobes off, so I'm not sure why they're still on. Oh, good grief. But they're actually off as well. Fantastic. That'll do. We'll watch the Lufthansa. It almost went horribly wrong, yes.
Athena Control, Aegean 3491 with you, that's 4,000. I would like to descend to 4,000 because I have a ice in position.
There's a little CJ4 parked up there.
AGN 34901.
AGN 3491, approach is Arnas, then Beren to Kavala. I'm descending to 4,000 because I have ice in condition.
AGN 34901, roger, QNH.
I think this is our last pilot.
1013, AGN 3491.
In fact, it is our last pilot of the day. Wonderful. So, watch him taxi in. We'll get a little screenshot of everybody
I would like to descend
settled
more.
in. Jay, did you get any frames issues?
3491, how low do you need to go?
Maybe I'm not for now. Wait a moment.
This is an Asobo blob.
300.
It is, isn't it? Should be a Lufthansa, I thought.
3,500.
Oh well.
Agent 3491, descend 3,500.
There's the touchdown zone. And he's down.
Radar, there's a pressure E25 flight level.
Snap back to the jets.
Stand by.
Yeah, sadly the air bridges don't seem to work here.
I'm sorry, I'm calling class only.
There's a screenshot for you folks. Lovely. So Jay had the same thing with the A330-900 as well. Interesting. Bit of a slideshow towards the end. There we go, folks. The Headwind A330. It's been a little while, and we put it to the test again today with an amazing flight. Really nice flight between LimeSims /Aerosoft's Berlin Brandenburg for MSFS. Payware scenery, really nice as we saw on departure. But also this fantastic FlyTampa Athens scenery for MSFS as well. So some of the best payware that you can get at the moment inside Microsoft Flight Simulator, and of course some good freeware to go with it as well. Bumps and all, warts and all, we got there in the end. As Automator is saying there is an update coming soon from the Headwind team with the fly-by-wire 0.7 stable integration and some WindFlex along with a couple of other things too. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you want to get your hands on the livery for this, head to britishavgeek.com/liveries for all of our official channel liveries, various aircraft across the fleet. And don't forget to join our Discord server as well. A very warm welcome on board to Doctor on board for becoming a frequent flyer, a channel member, and Rune Skog as well. Very warm welcome to you, new to the channel, and also choosing to become a channel member as well. Really generous of you. And Dwal for 2 super chats actually throughout today's live stream. So thank you for your generosity supporting your stream with that too. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to smash the subscribe button down below. And before you do depart today's live stream, then don't forget to give us a little like as well if you've enjoyed what you've seen today too. SG saying, how do you get the landing rate monitor to actually appear on the screen? I've done it in a live stream recently, but you go to Assistance Options, Notification, Software Tips on. And there you go. Thank you very much for watching. The fire trucks come out because they obviously saw our frames per second tank at the end.
463 at Bass is cleared on of approach on 827, report airfield inside.
Have a great couple of days. I'll start getting to work planning the next live stream, Adana to Dalaman and back, with some good freeware, some good payware scenery, I should say. Thank you very much for watching.
28 leaving uniform down through 214 down to 100.
And I will see you in a few days. There she is. Oh, looks fantastic. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care.
Subject.